Thank you, Julie. I'm really excited to be the first house on the Corona Del Mar home tour. I'm Wendy Blackband, and I live here on Balboa Island with my husband Greg and our 2 teenage kids, Cooper and Piper, who both attend Corona Del Mar High School. So we really want to thank you for your support. Come on in. When we first purchased the house about 10 years ago, it was the ugliest house on the street, if not the entire island. It had a big tree that covered up the entire home. It was all very dark. So one of the first things we did when we renovated the home is we replaced the windows and the doors, and we stuccoed the entire exterior of the home and painted it white to give it more of a lighter, brighter feel. Part of the windows and doors is this Dutch door that we created custom to allow light to come in the wintertime, and in the summertime, basically the upper is opened all the time. So I grew up on Balboa Island, literally about a block away from where we live now. And I loved growing up down here. I loved being close to the water, and although we're in Newport Beach, the island had a real village vibe. And so I was always hoping, if I was lucky enough to get married and have children, that I wanted to raise my kids down here so they too could have that experience that I did. That was so cool. So as I mentioned before, the exterior of the house was pretty bad, but then we walked in the door and realized, wow, it's really bad inside too. There were turquoise shag carpets with stains all over them, popcorn ceilings, so we had our work cut out for us with this renovation. When we jumped in, we basically scraped the ceilings, we redid all the flooring, and we redid our kitchen and all the bathrooms as well. So one of my favorite places in the house is my living room. I just feel it's really comfortable and cozy. It seats quite a few people for being kind of a smaller space. And the thing that I love about it too is our custom-made coffee table. Instead of just putting like a simple tray on the table, I have it covered with lots of really interesting books of travel, cookbooks, history, things that really are held dear to my heart, including some photo albums of our family. And I love that because a lot of times I'll just sit when I have the time and I go back through some of these great family memories that we've created over the years. As I mentioned before, we renovated our home. One of the original things of the home is the firebox, which we wanted to try to create a little bit more of a modern style. So we went ahead and smooth coat stuccoed it, and we added this wonderful channel cabinetry. And in a house this size, cabinets and storage is a huge deal for us. So those of you who know Balboa Island will know that we're pretty limited as far as space and lot size. So as a designer, we really need to make each area work well together and complement each other. One of the biggest things that we did in this space to create kind of this great room is we tore down the wall between the kitchen and the dining room. That really opened up the space so the kitchen and the dining room flow into the living room, which is perfect because we love to entertain, and it's a great place to entertain family and friends. So this is our dining area. We have enjoyed so many great meals here with our family and friends. One of the things that we did is we created a pedestal table. I like the idea of the pedestal, a single pedestal where we don't have the legs of a table. So when we want to cram more people around the table, we're able to do that. The other thing that we did is we added this really big banquette that seats quite a few people. One of the things that we also added to it was an indoor-outdoor fabric. So it wears really well. That's on the seats and also on the seat cushion in the banquette. One of my biggest inspirations is my mom. My mom is a professor at UCLA. She's taught design and architecture there for over 30 years. She's also a world traveler, a painter, and an artist. So it was really important for me to have some of my mom here in this space. So we featured some of her artwork in our home. We have these big, great white walls. They're a perfect palette for her artwork. So this is our kitchen, and it is the heart of our home. My husband Greg is a fabulous cook and makes amazing meals here. And although it is not that big, it is certainly mighty. So as most of you can see, our kitchen is pretty neutral. So we thought it would be nice to add some special elements to it, including these wood carvings that are from Thailand, that are at the end of each peninsula, along with some beautiful tabarka terracotta tile. So as I mentioned, we love to entertain in our home, and we have teenagers. So we kept the countertops a man-made material called Neolith because it's super bomber-proof. The other thing we did is we kept our cabinets painted white, but we added this really cool hardware from Ashley Norton. The thing that I like about Ashley Norton, it's solid brass hardware, and it has these really cool back plates with the wonderful patterns. I love how it kind of ties into this whole kind of Santa Barbara modern vibe. So we complemented the countertops with this handcrafted white ceramic tile. The thing I like about it, it's just a little bit different than your standard subway. It has a little bit of texture to it that I really like because it adds a bit of character to the space. So as a designer, a lot of people ask me, well, what appliances do you have in your home? So here we are. This is a 48-inch Wolf range along with a 36-inch refrigerator freezer system and a Wolf under cabinet microwave. We also have a Miele, which is one of the quietest dishwashers that we've ever owned. So this is the den area where the kids hang out. We have 2 desks over there where they study and do their homework. It's also a music room. Our son Cooper is really into music, playing the guitar, the piano, and he loves to sing. So it's part of that too. It's just really an all-around kind of entertainment room for our kids. So as a designer, when I was designing this home, it went pretty well up until I got into the master bedroom, and I really felt very challenged. I felt like paralysis set in. I could not make a decision on which way I wanted to go. And so one of the things that I did is I kind of went back to my roots, and that is our family's from northern Spain, and I went to school and was educated in Madrid, and I kind of went back to that, and I really wanted to focus in on this whole idea of the Spanish Mediterranean vibe. So I really wanted to tap into the Spanish culture, and one of the things that I was able to do is really look at things from a color standpoint. I love the idea of using different colors, and it's something that I feel has been missing in design over the last couple years. It seems that everything's become so monochromatic. So I was really excited to be able to use some of the kind of the mustards and the kind of rust colors. I love it tying into some of the indigo blues. It just has a really good kind of comfortable, rustic feeling to me. Okay, so don't blink, this is our master bathroom. We have a double vanity here with a Caesar stone countertop. But what's really cool is I love the idea of the tabarka terracotta tile that we've used as the backsplash. It's a really nice kind of contrast, the white with the blue Danube limestone floor that we've put in. So again, in this bathroom, we used a lot of the Ashley Norton hardware along with the custom lighting from Heather Levine. Love this kind of juxtaposition of the 3 different handmade ceramic pendants. So in our bathroom, our inspiration came from areas in Greece where they use natural materials. And I love the idea of doing our entire water closet and shower area in a pebble. But instead of just doing like a regular pebble tile, we used individual pebbles. There's over 3,000 pebbles placed in this bathroom individually. And then we did an overgrout, which I love as well. So it really gives you kind of that old time Mediterranean feel. You know, we also talk about making little spaces work harder, and in the shower we've done a lot of that, where we have our shower head, we have our handheld, and we also have our rain head. And it's in that beautiful antique brass material from Callista. So this is my son Cooper's room. He's a sophomore at CDM, and he's been very involved in our community and also at school. He's in youth and government. He's also an Eagle Scout, and he's working on his final Eagle Scout project too. He's also on the Corona del Mar sailing team, which is really fun. And in the summers, he participates in BIYC, which is the Balboa Island Yacht Club for kids. And he, this summer, will be Commodore of that club. So sailing in the water is a very, very big thing in his life. So this is my daughter Piper's room. Piper's really involved in her community and also at Corona del Mar High School, where she's a freshman. She's involved in ASB there. She also sails for the high school sailing team. In addition to that, Piper is involved in National Charity League. It's something that we do as a mother and daughter together. So when I started working on the design for Piper's room, I really wanted her to be involved. So I asked her to put together some ideas of what she'd like to see in her room. And when she did, she said, "Mom, I really want something that's pink and teal." And she had this idea of really bright pink and bright teal. And I just really wanted this room to be able to last and have a little bit of room for her to grow in. And so what I did is I took that kind of initial ideas and I thought, well, instead of this like sharp, bright pink, maybe we do something that's more of a blush color. And what really made it all work is that when I had pulled some of these things together, I actually presented it to Piper as if she was my client in our office with vision boards and all the fabrics and everything that goes with it. And that way, she was really excited and enthusiastic about her room. I really like the idea of bringing in kind of a Spanish, like southern Spain, Moroccan feel into the bathroom. I kind of found that with the idea of this turquoise hex and also some of this interesting lighting that we have, which is like this bronze with really thick kind of coat glass fixtures. And one of the things that also happened in this room, which was kind of a happy mistake, but originally we were going to put terracotta on the floor, but the terracotta is pretty thick. And in doing that, the transition did not work really well. And because I have older parents that do come and stay with us at times, I just didn't want to have a trip hazard. So part of that is I went out and I found another material that looks a lot like terracotta and also has a really kind of rustic feel to it. And believe it or not, this material is actually a porcelain tile, which I think is really cool. So it stands up really well for a kid's bathroom. In our shower, we went ahead and did Moroccan tiles on the shower walls, which also pays to this whole idea of the Spanish, southern Spain vibe for the bathroom. Because this project is a renovation, we were really limited in what we could and couldn't do. This footprint, for example, is something that we weren't able to change when it came to the architecture of the home. And as it turned out, it was probably a good thing. Now we have this interior courtyard and we love it. We use it a lot. In fact, when we're entertaining, a lot of times the adults will sit around the dining table or living room. And then in this area, this is where the kids get to hang out and have a great time out here on the outdoor patio. Okay, so you're going to have to check out some of the still shots of our home on the exterior because we have a really beautiful bougainvillea that's usually in bloom, but unfortunately at this time it's not, but it's still a beautiful vine that runs up the side of our home. So living on Balboa Island, there's not a lot of space outdoors. We thought we did a really nice job actually creating a lot of seating space in this area. We used indoor-outdoor fabrics. We have an outdoor fountain. We have this beautiful bougainvillea. It's really a wonderful place for us to be able to hang out and entertain with our family and friends. Thank you so much for joining us today and checking out our home. We hope you enjoy the rest of the home tour.